Welcome back to another episode of the Build That Story podcast. This podcast is essentially to inform you, to educate you, and to tell stories about beautiful women and men who have made it in the business sector. And they're going to tell you their stories right here on the platform. Remember to follow us on all our social media platforms and on YouTube at Sabi Writers TV. My name is Ekom Akpabio Joseph. Today we have a guest in the house. He is a modern Renaissance man. He is known for his strides in the media and advertising. Today is the CEO of Nimbus Media, Mr. Wale Adegoke. Welcome to the show, sir. It's such a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for that lovely intro.
You have made quite a mark in the media industry, so it's just normal that we, give you your accolades and give you your flowers now that you are here. It's such a pleasure to have you.
I'm humbled.
So, what do you do? What's your typical day like? What do you do first thing in the morning?
Okay. Nice. Okay. I like that. First thing in the morning, I try not to pick up my phone. That's top of my mind.
Isn't that a struggle?
Yeah, it's a struggle. Yeah, that's why I'm deliberate about mentioning that. I try not to pick up my phone. So I'm not always successful with that. But first thing in the morning, I try to make my bed.
Oh.
Yeah, so just tidy up my bed. And then I try to get some time in, some quick words of prayer and just some time of reflection.
All right.
And then I have a workout for about an hour.
Oh, okay.
So I'm a runner.
Oh, that's great. Fit farm, yeah.
I'm a runner. I love to run. And when I run, I take away from everybody else. Like I'm on my own.
Oh.
So and that's my time. Yeah, so I try to get in a 5K to 6K run in the morning. Then I get to work.
That's very impressive. So going straight into work right now. Let's talk about your background. Your background from education, your family, the careers you have done even before you got into the whole entrepreneurship. Just, walk us through that journey.
Okay. So my background, I went to University of Lagos. Shout out to Akokites, globally, worldwide. I studied building technology education at University of Lagos. Yes. I first went in for diploma at civil engineering.
Okay.
Faculty of Engineering. So I did my diploma in Faculty of Engineering. And I didn't get the cutoff mark for engineering. So I had some courses that were on offer for me to pick. And I also had the option to repeat the diploma again to get the cutoff mark for engineering.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually had chemical engineering offer at Covenant University also. So at that time, I was already into the University of Lagos community. So I wasn't going to leave.
Mm-hmm.
Though prior to that, I dreamed of going abroad for study. I wanted to go to the US, but then I wasn't granted a visa.
Oh.
So all along the line, I found myself studying building technology. And then I became somebody that was familiar with the built environment by virtue of going on internship and they call it Seaways. I don't know if you know Seaways.
Yeah, we do. We all did internship back in uni, yeah.
So when I did Seaways, I was now thrust into construction. And then I started meeting people and realizing that, okay, money is going down here.
Yeah.
People are making money.
Yeah.
People are spending money.
Mm-hmm.
I've not been seeing money before. Then I started seeing money. So I started seeing small money from that time when I was in uni. Then I saw that, okay, so this is a very major industry. So then that's how I found myself in the construction industry. And then I graduated and went for NYSC. So in my NYSC, I was posted to a company called Courtney Michael Partnership in Ikoyi. So shout out to all my alumni of that great company.
Mm-hmm.
And that company taught me so much.
Wow, great.
So much. So it is a construction project management company that works with multidisciplinary fields to achieve construction project aims.
Okay.
So from architecture to electrical to plumbing to on-site to design to everything. And I was privileged to work on a major project for Stanbic IBTC Bank when there was a merger between IBTC and the Standard Bank of South Africa, and there was a massive branch rollout around Nigeria between 2010 and 2013. So I was involved in many branches being built around many of the Stanbic IBTC branches you see around. We were actually the team that was coordinating all the other subcontractors. And then through that made me understand that, so no business actually an island, because you need suppliers, subcontractors, you need vendors, you need consultants, you need government approval.
Everybody's important.
Everybody's important. So that was my journey, and from there I moved in the construction industry and the facilities industry, built environment industry, also taking certifications as a project manager as I was going. And then I've always had the entrepreneurial bug, but I never got a successful venture going until I had already started to try to get into advertising space when my then co-founder spoke about an opportunity at Tejo. Then I was working at a company called Participant Properties. And then Tejo Market got burnt, if you remember. And so it was in need of redevelopment, and that redevelopment would have meant that there would have been spaces or potential spaces for advertising. And I've been privileged to travel to UK and some other countries growing up. My parents made arrangements for that. We were able to travel. And so I have already seen how things were done. I've seen that there are shopping malls, billboards, different kinds of, the advertising space was so sophisticated.
So I see you're going to the media gradually.
Yeah.
You are. So this is where I'm going to ask, right? So at what point you were doing construction? So at what point did you know that, okay, this is what I want? Because I know that the background, the whole foundation of why Nimbus Media was formed is because of this, the whole putting out signposts for shopping malls and all of that. So let us know, at what point did you get an interest in media?
I've been interested in media since I was a kid.
Wow.
I always loved to, I was one of those kids that I love to watch ads. So I like watching the ads. I feel like when I see a good ad, it gets
it's something
me.
that,
So I always used to look forward to watching ads, and I also like to take pictures. So when I was younger, I was able to get a small camera. My dad got me a camera. There was a little camera then, little digital cameras to take pictures. When phones became a thing, and I had a phone that had a camera, because I know Gen Z can't relate, but there were phones that didn't have camera. There are still phones that don't have camera. So I used to take pictures, and I used to take pictures of ads. So I just felt whenever I went to the airport, I went to Schiphol Airport in Netherlands, and there are so many types of billboards there, digital, like formats. So I took so many pictures, and the whole idea was, okay, why can't we have this in Nigeria? I've not seen this in Nigeria, so this is something that's not really being done in Nigeria, so I can do this. And that was the, if you are asking me what's the for me to trace the thought, I can trace the thought back to just those pictures of Blue Water Mall in UK, Schiphol Airport in Amsterdam, and the different formats, and just feeling like we can do this in Nigeria. So that's it.
So how Nimbus Media was formed was just because you saw something in other countries. I'm like, okay, I can provide a solution to this right here in my country.
Yeah, you can say that. That's a big catalyst.
Oh, that's really great, because I feel like sometimes we go out or travel out and we see these things, we see great development in other countries, and we forget our home country. So it's really beautiful that you saw what you want and you replicated it in your country. So let's go straight into Nimbus Media and how it has been over the years, and not forgetting that you also formed another company, LVM.
Yeah, so business, it looks one way outside, and then when you get into it, it's another way. So growing up, my dad has always been self-employed because he's a professional. So my dad is a dentist. So he runs a dental clinic called Iwosan Dental Clinic in Surulere, and it's been almost 30 years or more that he's been running that business. Call it a business, but it's a hospital basically. And so I've seen that his lifestyle as a business person meant that he had more free time, or so to say, he was controlling his time. Yeah, so for me, controlling my time was something that I really cherished, and I still do. So along the line of building a business, I was very mindful of that. And then being that I had been in paid employment for a few years, I was acutely aware of the demands on my time from my employer. And in fact, while I started Nimbus, I was in the employ of a company, as I mentioned to you. I actually started, we had this idea, myself and my co-founder, in 2010. And the first check we collected from a client was in 2013. So that's about 3 years of hustling without making any money, investing our own money, our own time. So along the line, we knew that, okay, we don't really know much about business. So I was in paid employment. My co-founder was a real estate agent. I was a project manager, construction manager. And so in order for us to really plunge into business, we knew we needed to learn some things. So we enrolled for Faith Foundation Aspiring Entrepreneurs Program. So I think we're AEP 21. So that was where we developed the business plan, because the output of the whole program is to come up with a business plan. And our business plan was picked to pitch for out of the best business plans for that year. So then I found myself, running from my office where I was in paid employment to run to Museum Center where we had the pitch that time. Then I had to pitch, and then so ended up being number 7 out of all the business plans in Nigeria that year. And so that was a motivation, like, wow, so they picked our business plan as one of the best. That means the idea is sound and there's something there. So there was a motivation to keep going. And of course, we were trying to get into Teju Show.
Yeah.
And that's where the social aspect of business comes in, because, nobody knows us. We are not actually, we're just a new company. And there is established companies already doing this business. So why would they give it to us? So that was where some of the grit and tenacity of, trying to get people to see things your way, trying to pitch to the developers, looking for the key decision makers, sometimes hunting them down to their church and sitting in the congregation and waiting for when the person comes, and when the person comes, you watch the person. When the person is going to their car, you just quickly run, sir, you know, and all that just to get the person's ear. And so that was the formative times for the business. This was circa 2010 to 2013. And then, unfortunately, the whole thing fell through at Tejo Show because we actually got the letter of concession from the developer. But then the developer went bankrupt. And so the bank took the developer into receivership. And so the bank took over the project. So all the people that the developer had given concessions to, the concessions became null and void, basically. And so you had to start from square one with the bank. Another...
You had to go through all the whole
process again. So you can imagine how demoralizing that would have been. And so I was just driving around Alausa at the time, and I saw the development of Ikeja City Mall. I saw the signboard. I saw that they were building something there. And so it just occurred to me that this is another potential place. Okay, Tejo Show, we are at square one back. Let's, throw our tentacles out. And so that's where I quickly just put together a proposal and then submitted it to Ikeja City Mall, and the rest is history.
Okay, so there's some things you mentioned when you were talking about your journey through the whole Tejo Show process, and and I like to point it out because I know there are a lot of people watching that will want to get this information. You said when you started with your co-founder, you both realized that there is nothing you know so much about business. So you went back to learn. So that means, it simply means that in the journey of discovery and your path, there's sometimes you have to be honest with yourself. Tell yourself the truth that, okay, I don't know this thing. So let me go and learn.
Even the people that know it, they are still learning.
They're still learning.
I'm still learning.
It was a continuous cycle of learning.
There's no end to it. No end to learning.
And you also mentioned how, you've pitched to the developer and nothing has come out of it. So did that ever... You didn't stop there. You still went ahead. You still went ahead to pursue and get what you want finally. So there's no clear cut for this business thing. There's no clear road for... You just have to keep trying.
It's so I don't know. Some people believe in destiny, this thing is meant to happen. That's a very compelling thought. Also, the place of your willpower and your motivation, it can't be taken away. So when you think about it, if you're an advocate of the destiny narrative, which, it's real, I'm not saying it's not, but the place of willpower and tenacity, you just can't. It's so important. You really have to want it really bad. And
how bad do you want it?
Yeah.
So at what point did Nimbus Media just break into the market and everyone came to know about Nimbus Media?
So the big break was Ikeja City Mall. That was the first big break. And it all came from the learnings, preparing to get the Tejo Show concession, getting the Tejo Show concession, planning for the Tejo Show concession. Even though the Tejo Show concession fell through, all that, we still had that. So we were able to showcase that we've had all this planning, preparation, we know vendors, we know what it takes. We are business savvy. We can, at the end of the day, everybody wants to make money.
Yeah.
We can make money for you. We can help you make money. We can get you paid, and then you have to prove it. And then we proved it. So we proved it at Ikeja City Mall. There was investment we had to raise, which we did. After getting that, then we had to make sure that the execution was done seamlessly and to top-notch standard, because the edifice that was built was actually top-notch, at the time, the best retail environment in Nigeria. till date, one of the best. And so we had to, and so that just brought back all my dreams and pictures that I've been taking of executions in foreign lands with, high level of detail and standard and quality, which made me want to take a picture. And so I just said, okay, let's make that happen. And we were able to make that happen. And everybody, the investors, because we had to engage with the investors at the mall, the management of the mall. We had to engage investors of our own, because I remember I was just a construction manager.
Yeah.
I had bosses, and so I didn't have that kind of money, obviously, and had to raise money to do that. So that's where I started knowing about raising money, obligations, financing, all that, a lot of stuff, and it was a crash course, but we got it popping, and then we start getting calls.
Yeah.
And then start getting checks.
That's very important.
Cha-ching. And then
so from ICM, you spread your tentacles across
yeah,
Nigeria.
so when we got paid, like, it wasn't about chopping the money, because it was like, okay, we're so delighted and that, okay, so we can do this. So let's do it now. Let's do it big. Let's keep going. So, and then from one place to 5 places straight up, like, and because it opened doors. One thing is when there's a bit of a track record, and then I know a lot of people like name dropping. They do it because it works. So when people like to be connected with a success story.
True.
So if you are an Ikeja City Mall, still the most visited shopping mall in Nigeria, and so being connected with that project and then having an execution that was seamless there and commercially viable to the point where those guys were ready, that's the investors and those who partook in the business, they were ready to recommend us to other investors and other developers, and then it just snowballed from there.
Okay, this has been very, very, informative. And one of the things I've picked out from what you said is everybody likes success, but nobody really knows the story behind the success, what you had to go through to achieve that success. I think I was trying to write an Instagram post today, and one of the things I wrote there was that you have to build capacity enough for you that when opportunity comes, you'll be ready for it.
Yep.
So you were ready for it since the time of Tedro Show Complex, and even when it went down. So when ICM came, Ikeja City Mall came, you presented yourself.
It's not like we were perfectly ready, but we were way more ready than even for a lot of people. I would just want to add that to anybody listening, Nigeria is actually a virgin land. So there are lots of things that are not really being done in Nigeria that people are doing outside. So, but one key thing is, and I would make reference to somebody that I respect said this, that you need to travel to open your eyes to what's possible.
True.
Some people have visions that they can just sit down and then a vision comes to them. I like to tell people that when I was small, when I was little, I actually had a vision of a mobile phone, but I didn't know what a mobile phone was. But in my mind, I just had a vision and an imagination, like, imagine if there was something like this that I could hold it. And I used to watch a lot of cartoons and I love sci-fi. So I just had this, like, imagine if we had this, that I could do this and I could do this. And so that was like a vision of something I had never seen. But how many people there are people that are like that something they've never seen, they can make it be. But it doesn't have to be something you've never seen. Majority of the time, you see it. When you see it, then you can now
replicate it,
make it happen. Yes. So you need to broaden your horizons.
Yeah. So broaden your horizons. That is what I'm going to leave with today. Broaden your horizons, be exposed, travel, learn. and come back and replicate it or give back to the community. So we're going to take a very, short break. We feel ourselves with much energy and come back for the next phase of this conversation.
Cool.
Thank you very much. So far, it's been really, really enjoyable. Thank you.
So here's something for you. Do you want to create an audio or video version of your written content? Or maybe you need voiceovers for your adverts, product campaigns, audiobooks, movie trailers, or even a video promo for your next event? Do you also need the right space to host and record your audio or video podcast at a friendly budget? Then, Subwriter Studios is the go-to place made just for you. At Subwriter Studios, we provide a wide range of media production services that bring your story to life and save you costs. Book us today for your product promos, audiobooks, book trailers, documentaries, podcast recordings, voiceovers, and many more. Our state-of-the-art studios and editing suite caters to all of your media production needs at an expense you can afford. Call or send us a mail now to get started.
Welcome back. It's still the Builder Story podcast. We have been with our guest for today, Mr. Wale Adegoke, CEO of Nimbus Media. So far, we've had a great time. I'm having a great time. Are you having a great time, sir?
Yes, it's a good time.
Okay, so let's talk about the businesses, the businesses that Nimbus Media has done. Something that we can hold.
Okay. Yeah. It's been a journey. We've worked with so many brands, so many brands. So I cannot mention all the brands we've worked with.
Mm-hmm.
We've worked with hundreds of brands. But I'll just mention a few key ones. Like we've worked with Google on a couple of we like to call them activations or campaigns. There was a Wi-Fi campaign where Google were putting Wi-Fi at different locations. So we worked with them on that at Ikeja City Mall. Then we worked with YouTube Shorts.
Okay.
For a domination of screens at shopping malls, 8 different shopping malls pan Nigeria. We've worked with Hennessy on 100th anniversary in 2015 when they brought a barrel from Champagne, Cognac Valley in France to Lagos, and it was on display at Palms Mall. We are proud to be part of that. We did an execution at Ikeja City Mall for Techno. Branding of the pillars with a very different kind of feel. We did for quite a few years Samsung full branding at Jabi Lake Mall. So we've worked at different malls with different clients. We work with different owners of assets. Mm-hmm. It's been a journey.
It's been a journey.
Yeah,
really,
we worked
really.
with Lagos State government. As I said, I cannot.
You can't count them all, yeah.
I can't say them all, but we are looking to work with so many more.
Yeah.
So many more brands.
So you mentioned that the company just celebrated 10th year anniversary. So it's been 10 years of amazing work, of amazing strides. Okay, what have you learned in those 10 years? Any business lessons?
A lot of lessons. Lots of lessons.
Philosophy with it.
Wow. Okay, so business about people. That's the key thing is business about people. Relationships with people matter a lot in business. If you have very strong relationship, you can move mountains. Mm-hmm. There's nothing you want in this world that a human being is not the key to.
Wow.
There is nothing you want in this world that a human being is not the key to. And the ones that a human being is not a key to are talking spiritual or supernatural things, which is the next thing I'm coming to, which is that business is also a spiritual activity. Yes, it's a spiritual activity, and it involves spiritual principles. principles of giving and receiving, principles of service, principles of do unto others as you want others to do to you, principle of adding value. The parable of the sower, there's a fertile soil and there's an infertile soil. So you must know where the fertile soil is, you know. So that's the place of your research. You don't just go and do business without any research, without any learning, without any knowledge. You know the soil that you are putting your seed into. You don't have so many seeds, you know. Seeds are limited. Opportunity cost, it's all about mentality. People mentality. Business is a spiritual activity that involves people. Your mentality towards people and towards the value that you are is very important. You have to understand that there's opportunity cost. Decision making is so important. So understanding what opportunity cost is, that I have only 24 hours in a day. Out of those 24 hours, I'll probably sleep between 6 to 8 out of those. So I'm only left with about 16 hours in the day. So out of that 16 hours, what am I going to allocate the time to? Because time is money.
True.
Yes, and then, as I said, people. So we are here in this amazing studio, and I don't see Chinonso anywhere here. You people are getting it popping, you know. So you have to be able to motivate people to do your dream, make your dream or your vision. You, of course, you must have a vision. So that's, I think I will just hark back to when I said I've seen things somewhere else. It could be I saw things, and that's why books are very important.
Important, yes.
Because your mind's eye is there. You could read something and then it's in your mind's eye. So
You're
once
imagining it.
Yes, exactly. And then that means you've seen it. You have the vision. Then you can make it happen. And then you can actually tell other people who will help you. From, if you don't have money, you need money. Who give you money? You need to articulate your vision to those people. So having a vision, I think, is primary. And that's why I said I'll broaden your horizons. Travel. Yeah, but if you can't afford to travel, you can get a good book, read books. You know, you can. I know right now people don't really watch TV. But people watch TV, but it's reduced. Now people are watching things on the internet, which is a good way to get yourself. So listen to shows like this. I remember when I was a kid, I used to watch TV a lot. I loved watching TV, and they used to banish me from watching TV.
It wasn't that bad.
So like when my dad would come, I would just jump up, run away from TV. So he wouldn't know that I was watching TV and all that. But my dad was the kind of person that used to buy, when there was a time when it was VCD that was reigning. VCD before DVD.
Yeah.
You would buy VCD, he would buy music albums. My dad loved listening to music. So I was immersed in culture and media from a young age. So that already broadened my horizon. So the things I could see in my mind's eye were affected by that.
Yeah.
And I would put that to people that, you know, put things into your brain. Just
read, absorb.
Yeah, and good conversations
Good
too.
conversations. Surround
The right people.
Yeah.
Would get you a long way. You're gonna learn a lot of things. You just be a sponge. Absorb things. So you have to be somebody that, I think it's about the disposition of a person. So I find that my disposition is when I'm in that environment where I'm learning things, I'm meeting people, then I'm excited. I don't get tired. I get energized. You know, I love it. So then it keeps me going, and reading books, things like that keep me going. I cross notes with people. So yeah, there's a whole lot, but I think those are the things that you need to be doing constantly, and then you would find a vision along the line.
Along the line. So let me try to reiterate what you have said. You've talked about the importance of people in business. You've talked about the importance of having a vision. You've talked about the importance of broadening your knowledge, reading books, meeting people. Just to reiterate that for all of our viewers watching. So, work on yourself, basically. And so, just before we round up today's session, what is the one thing that you've held on to over the years, has kept you motivated on this road to success?
It's not just one thing, but I still have to come back to people.
Okay.
Because there are times when, people from outside, as I said from the beginning, that people see something, but on the other side it's a bit different. You might look rosy and everything, but people don't know what's going on inside.
True. Very true. Very true.
You need to be re-energized, and it's people that do that for you.
Yeah.
When you are with the right people, sometimes you just have these people, you don't want to let them down. For me, it's been a series of not wanting to let people down. To be honest, my motivation comes from people. And when sometimes I see myself through the eyes of other people, because I don't really see myself as all that. But then when I see how other people are reacting towards me, then what comes to me is like, wow, this person feels this way about me. I can't disappoint this person. And then the motivation comes. So with my team members, investors, creditors, you name it, it's always this, I don't want to let them down.
Yes.
And that it gives me some fire. Of course, it has to be in a healthy way, of course.
I was going to ask.
Yeah, it has to be in a healthy way. I've been through that also, where you find that you are being manipulated.
Yes.
And I won't go too deep into that, but there are people that are, to use a word, leeches. They feed off your energy. They feed off your emotions. Mm-hmm. They use you, and you have to be used. I'm here to be used, but I'm not here to be used for an agenda or a purpose that's not in line with
what you want. Yes.
My purpose. My purpose. And I have I think I have a clear understanding of what makes me tick, what's my purpose. So I could give my all and not feel drained, not feel cheated. If it's in line with that, I could make sacrifices if it's in line with that. But when you find that some people are not in line with that, you must be able to identify that
them
and then quickly make adjustments. It's a continual adjustment as along the way, and the adjustment might take some years. So we all come to different realization at different times. Just like I said about the realization that we can't just rely on this Tedio show. We need to, but for over a year, it was just Tedio show we were working on. And then the realization came that, and in fact, when we were working on Tedio show, we were working on a numerous multi-platform kind of different kinds of formats, media formats. But then when we got to Ikeja City Mall, we just worked on one format. So the realization came along the line. So also with people you are working with, it's going to come like that. But just make sure that your internal compass and your vision is aligned. You will know when you're getting energized and motivated.
True. Very true.
You will know the environment that is energizing you and motivating you. You know the people, you know the work that energizes you and motivates you. So, yeah.
Thank you
what
very
I
much
would
for that.
drop.
I personally needed that. Thank you very much for that. So before we go and before we round up today's session, what are your words on marble? What are the things that your advice to upcoming entrepreneurs, people who are in line of business, people who are trying to figure out what their purpose is? What would you like to say to them?
Okay, I would like to say that you don't look down on yourself. Try different things. Try things, and if they don't work out, doesn't make you a failure. Before I did, I think I mentioned before I got this Nimbus one right, I've done a few ventures that were not really, and there's also the place of resilience, which is so key. So I will just mention, apart from Nimbus, I work on LVM.
Sure.
And LVM, we have a product called VidaFan. So it's a sports app for sports fans, for them to get updated and connect with other fans, and also even purchase items connected with sports. We've been working on this project for a few years, and it used to be called lovefootball.ng. It was a fantasy gaming platform. We had a lot of users that were using it and making money. And we were losing money while our users were making money. So we had to pivot away from that and have a new business model and change the name of the platform to cover other sports as well. So you can see the journey of changes.
Yeah.
And as I spoke about Nimbus, you see the journey of changes too. So there's really nothing like this is the recipes for success. And you have to be like a mad scientist in the lab working on what works, this doesn't work, okay, I make tweaks here and all that. So don't look down on yourself. If something isn't working out, just know that it's a journey.
True.
And the real end product is you. What you become at the end, the real end product, that's you. You are the one that, your story, that's the real end product. So that's what I'll drop for people.
That is quite a bomb you have dropped on us today. Thank you so much, sir. So it's been 10 years in existence with great lessons that you have learned over the years. What is the future projection of Nimbus Media?
Well, we have been mainly doing destination advertising. And through that, we've been able to spread to different geopolitical zones in Nigeria, different venues. And we've also been able to empower small businesses through the Nimbus Aid project.
That's great.
And now we are looking at a way whereby not only can we allow these small businesses to be empowered through the Nimbus Aid project, but even through our platform and other out-of-home platforms using technology. We're trying to build a marketplace where businesses, small businesses, can go on there through their phone, through their computer, and on that platform, they will see different kind of our own inventory and our partners' inventories. They can book them. They can also use that to follow up and see analytics on those campaigns.
Okay.
Basically, 360, just run the campaign. It's a process. Right now, we're not there, but that's where we are going. And in the near future, we believe that we should be able to have capabilities to do that. So it's a journey.
So you're talking about these years empowerment for women.
Yes. So the Nimbus Aid Project 2023 is going to have 20 winners, women-led businesses.
Okay.
Yes, and we are looking at having the call for entries on the 7th of August. So women-led businesses can go onto our website and just apply for the grant. 2 million naira worth of advertising on our platforms, as well as resources and assistance from our partners like LSETF, New Central TV, Tech Cabal.
That's great.
And other companies who are invested in what we are doing. We have already been able to create an impact report for the last edition, where we empowered 10 women-led businesses with 2 million naira each. So the impact report is coming out today. I think it should be on the website even right now. So you can download the impact report. It will also be circulated through media channels, press, and all that. And the idea of the impact report is so people can see actually the impact that the last grant had on the beneficiaries, while we look forward to people applying for the grant this year. And we are really hopeful that the impact on the 20 businesses this year will be more than last year, and then it will just be snowballing. We are looking for a big impact, because SMEs, small businesses, they are the engine of the economy. They are really, how many people can the government employ? I came in here now, you guys have so many people here working here. Government in Nigeria is not employing up to 500,000 people. I don't think government in Nigeria is not employing up to 1 million people. So we don't even expect the government to employ all these people. But if we don't empower small businesses, who's going to employ people? And not everybody can take the plunge to be an entrepreneur.
True.
It's what I've just told you today. I've just told you the nice parts. I've not told you the hard parts. Even if I mentioned some things, I made it sound so cool. Some sleepless nights involved, sadness, heartbreak, loss, massive loss, disappointment, a lot of stuff. Some people say, one of my egbons, guy was telling me, did he not tell me he collapsed last 2 weeks that his stress and iron deficiency because of this thinking is plenty and things are going on. This is somebody that is well fed and he collapsed because it's mind over matter. At the end of the day, not everybody can do it. Sometimes even me, I'm like, wow, I don't know how I'm doing it.
Resilience, right? You mentioned resilience.
Just keep going.
Keep going. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. This has been a very mind-blowing, profound conversation. Thank you very much for making it to today's conversation.
Thanks for having me. I'm very happy to be here, and you guys are doing a great job.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And so we've come to the end of today's session. Is anything that you have not picked from today's conversation? Please pick that it is good to build resilience. You may work and it may fail or it may not happen as you expected, but just keep going. That's the power of consistency. And never give up. The end result is always going to be you. You're going to be the one telling your story at the end of the day. Those are snippets of the wisdom Mr. Wale gave to us today. Till we come your way again next episode, please do not forget to click the link when it comes out, share, comment, engage with us. Thank you very much for having us. Stay with us till next episode.